double over double bunks, a campside dinette, sofa plus vaulted ceiling, all in a 26-foot box. Yep, that's what you get right here in the Springdale 260BH. All right, folks, let's start off right over here. So one of the things I like about this floor plan, and pretty much any floor plan, is when they give you a campside dinette. Why, you may ask? Well, this is where I want to sit because I want to look out at my campsite, right? When I'm having breakfast, when I'm playing games, I want to be able to look out to my campsite, and this one does a fantastic job with this massive window. I'm going to lift this up. May mess with your camera, sorry if it does, Sam. But take a look at just the sheer size of this window. It just lets in a ton of natural light. I mean, you can see the natural light just flood in here, and again, gives you that beautiful view, and it is the view you want. And of course, it opens so to give you a little bit of that ventilation through the camper. And again, you know, the campside dinette, this does drop down into a sleeping space if you need it. This right here is removable, the table, so if you want to take this outside, you can do that as well. Speaking of sleeping spaces, there are bunks in the back. We'll get to those in just a moment. I do want to hit this first, though. If you're looking for a TV in this camper, folks, that is where it'll be mounted. Pretty standard stuff. Connections right up on top. You have the audio video cables right here, which are connected to the Multimedia Center. I'll show you where that is located because it's actually on a different wall. But they did already run the wiring through for you. Speaking of wiring, you can see, take a look at the ceiling here, right? Because, of course, wiring is running through there, but look how much space you have. Nice big barreled ceiling. I'm 6 foot tall, and I have a ton of room. So if you're looking, again, for something that doesn't have any slides, but still kind of feels open, this one right here does a great job of that. You have plenty of sleeping space, and you can be 6'3", 6'4", and still not hit anything in this center of the camper, which is awesome. Making our way to the back, though, are those double over double bunks. 300-pound weight capacity on here, so it can support a lot of adults. You will notice the window up top there on the bottom. You have both like a little net area, so you have a place to put your cell phone as well as USB charging ports there, or I guess tablet too, right? If you're a kiddo and you want to watch a tablet, slides right in there. And then you have lights on both top and bottom as well. The other thing, if we lift up this cushion, you will see you have access to storage underneath, right? You have some cross beams, of course, you need for support for the bed that might make that access to some larger items a little more challenging, but we'll see when we go outside. We have direct access from the outside as well. The bathroom is tucked back here in the corner. Now, move my mic pack out of the way, make sure I don't sit on it. My fat butt will break it in a hurry. But we can see right here, as far as space, it's actually pretty decent space. And now, they were able to achieve that by putting the sink outside the bathroom, which I actually like, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But it's, again, if I'm going to sit here and do my business, I'm in no hurry. I'm good to go. I have great leg room, good shoulder space, you know, rubbing a little bit on the left-hand side here, but nothing that's going to interfere with what I'm doing. And then over to this side is the shower, and I'll stand in here. And again, folks, it's 6 foot tall, especially with that skylight. I have plenty of room. You can probably be 6'2" and still stand up in here. A little bit more toward the edge here, you'll see that my head does hit, but right in the center, I am good. Hand wand, of course, does make showering up a little bit easier. Now, you know, it's just a standard curtain. You know, if I'm going to give him a knock anywhere in the shower, it's probably this. I understand there's some space constraints, so maybe this was the right option. I personally would have rather seen like one of the like sliding door systems they have that just kind of roll up and retract. Just because a curtain, you know, if I turn or spin, it's going to fly out, water's going to get everywhere, and there's not a high threshold, a little bit tougher for that curtain to stay in there. But again, I mean, if that's the only complaint I have, they're doing pretty good. Realistically, you can go out and get a weighted curtain, and that'll do a lot to help you out there. Making our way outside the bathroom, though, let's take a look here. So, as I mentioned, the sink is right outside the bathroom. I like this because two people can be doing something at the same time. I can have someone in the shower or using the bathroom, and I can be right here getting ready, brushing my teeth, washing hands, whatever else needs to be done. So I really like having this. There are some floor plans where they just remove this entirely and you have to use the kitchen sink for all that. And that weirds me out a little bit, right? Is it a huge deal? No. You know, can I can I brush my teeth in my kitchen sink? Sure. Right? Wash my hands? Sure. But I like having this dedicated space for those activities. And plus, as I mentioned, I have a mirrored medicine cabinet right here. So if I want to check myself out, make sure my hair is looking good or whatever, I can do that. You know, look at the latest sunburn I have. We can do that as well. Mirrored medicine cabinet there, some extra storage behind it. And then, of course, storage underneath. Electrical outlets will be located there too, as well as your thermostat is right outside the bathroom. Now, moving back forward a little bit is... opens this way, I suppose. Our fridge freezer. So this is an Everchill unit. So this is a 12-volt compressor-driven fridge, which we've been seeing a lot more of for the 2021 model year. And why do people like a 12-volt compressor-driven? Well, seeing as how it's compressor-driven, that means it's going to cool down a lot quicker. You don't have to plug this in overnight to get it cooling down. It'll do it in, a matter of hours. The other nice thing about it is, again, it is 12 volt, meaning it runs off of your battery system. So if you have, let's say, 2 batteries and you get solar on here, you can run this thing almost indefinitely because it's a pretty small power draw. And so that is a big draw for a lot of people, right? That's why a lot of people like these 12 volt fridges. But bear in mind, if you are somewhere, and your batteries run down, you can't run this fridge off propane. So, if your batteries run down, I mean, you'll have other issues obviously there too, but just bear that in mind that one is 12 volt only. Now over to this side, this is kind of cool. This is something they added. I personally really like this. I think it does a lot for space savings as well as some aesthetics. You have a spot for your knives right here and then little hooks for any other larger utensils that you want to hang. Something like this is fairly inexpensive, but it goes a long way for me as far as space savings, especially if you don't have a lot of drawer space, which, as we'll see in a second, this one does not. Right up top, microwave, good storage all the way across the top here. They did an excellent job. So, plates, bowls, anything else, some of your spices, pantry goods, you have good space there. Upgraded pressed countertops. I like these too, so you don't have to worry about T-mold popping off or water or anything getting in there. You have the two-tone faucet. They also went with the black composite sink, which is starting to grow on me. I like this better than white composite just because I don't think it's going to stain as easy. Again, I will be curious to see kind of the longevity as the years go by as far as scratches showing, things like that, right? I think that white won't show as many scratches, but gets dirtier easier. This won't get dirty, but is going to show scratches a little bit more. So be very curious to see how that goes. But again, as of right now, it's starting to grow on me. Right up top is your drying rack. I like this as well. It can double as prep space. And of course, the drying rack, the main purpose it's for, just kind of, easy, efficient. Right over next to that, 3-burner recessed cooktop with the glass cover gives you that prep space. Just flick that guy on right there. The knobs light up. You also have the oven underneath if you want to do some baking. Nothing huge, but gets the job done. And then if we take a look underneath right here, you will see some additional space. Now, as I mentioned, this particular floor plan, folks, is not great for drawer space in the kitchen. So if this is the one you like everything else about it, just know you're gonna have to improvise a little bit. Maybe get your flatware tray and put it right there for your forks, knives, everything else. Then again, your larger utensils will go right up here. There's also an electrical outlet over to this side if you want to plug in a coffee maker. And it's also worth noting that entire back right here is a window, which really lets in a lot of natural light. That is one of the things, as I mentioned, this floor plan just does so well. Big barreled ceiling, huge windows everywhere, lets light in. It is nice and bright, giving it that open feeling. Right over to the side, kind of like we had back in the bunks, you have another little charging station there. Multimedia center up top. This is the one that is connected to that TV, and you will see there's HDMI ports plus a spot right up here for auxiliary equipment. So if you have a Blu-ray player or something you want, you can toss it right up there, plug it in when you need it, you're good to go. Some speakers right here as well as speakers outside. They will all be controlled from this unit, and that unit is Bluetooth capable. More storage over to this side here. You'll see that accent wall, right? Kind of like a whitewashed brick. Really nice look to it. I think it helps break up, kind of like the plain wallboard that we normally see. And then a jackknife sofa directly underneath. Jackknife is great because all the storage. You can see right there, you have plenty of storage, nice and easy to access. That does drop down into a bed, but it's not going to be the biggest bed in the world, right? At 6 foot tall, you can see here, if I were to lay down, my feet would be hanging off a little bit. Now, these are removable, so your feet aren't going to be in a weird position. You can certainly take those off. Just kind of wanted to show you for size. But, again, if you're a little bit shorter than that, it'll be a perfect bed. Even at 6 foot, if my feet hang off a little, I'd probably still be fine. mean, let's be honest, I'd probably have a few cocktails and I'd sleep like a baby. Right up over here is where you'll mount the TV in the bedroom if you want one. Queen bed right in the center, and you can see that you have kind of a nightstand space that's carpeted, electrical outlets. You have a laundry hamper on the one side that goes right into the pass-through. And then, you know, again, pretty standard stuff here. You have your wardrobes that are mirrored, and then double storage shelf across the top, whereas most manufacturers will only have a single. Now that we've seen the insides, take a look at some of the outside features on the 2021 Keystone Springdale 260BH. Right up front here is a power tongue jack, making it nice and easy to connect and disconnect from your tow vehicle. It's also a light on there, as you'd expect. Right behind that are two 20-pound propane tanks, rails right here for your battery. And you'll also notice right on the front, you have kind of diamond edge plating helping protect that front end from some of the rocks and debris that may get thrown up by the tow vehicle. Plus, right up above that is your smooth aluminum front, which not only looks nicer than your rolled aluminum here, right, your ribbed aluminum, but also it's easier to clean. When that's a big deal, because as you can see, right, you're gonna get a lot of dirt, you know, thrown up from other vehicles. You're also gonna get a bunch of bugs that are getting slammed on here. So anytime that front end is easier to clean is always a good thing. Coming around to the side, we'll open this up. Take a look at the pass-through storage. So you can take a look right there. You will see that it is nice open storage. The door on this side is a little bit bigger, so just kind of bear that in mind as you are loading and unloading. Not the tallest door in the world, but it is fairly wide, so you can fit some of those wider items, like some of the bigger chairs and stuff like that in there. And the pass-through doesn't shrink down until almost completely the other side, which is really nice. Real quick, talking about the side, one of the things that people don't often talk about when you're talking about aluminum versus like fiberglass, one of the big advantages aluminum has, besides price point, is the fact that if anything ever gets damaged, these panels are pretty easy to replace. If you damage a side of a fiberglass unit, it tends to be a pretty expensive fix. Something like this, you can take a piece off, install another piece, and you are good to go. Right down below, you will see your power stabilizer jack. So you have one control up here for the front two, another control in the back for the back two. But that, in conjunction with the power tongue jack, just makes setup super easy, folks. Bear in mind, you still want to level it out. They're not leveling jacks, but you don't have to sit there and crank them down by hand. You just drop them down. They'll stabilize things. So as you're walking around inside, the RV won't move quite as much. As far as the entrance, Springdale went with the LCI solid step. And as the name implies, it is quite solid. When it comes to the step systems, the newer step systems, I prefer the MORryde slightly. Both of them are very similar, but the MORryde just feels a little bit more quality to me, I guess. But this one is still great, right? It still definitely does exactly what it needs to do. I mean, you can see here, I can, step on this thing and there's hardly any flex in it whatsoever, unlike your traditional pull-out steps. Adjustable feet, plus you have the aluminum treads on there, so it's not gonna rust. Nice big grab handle here too, so from that very first step all the way in, you have good control. Right up top is the power awning with an LED light strip on there. A couple speakers outside, as I mentioned, those are controlled by that multimedia center inside. And listen to music isn't your thing, maybe you'd rather watch TV, no worries. Right here is your TV setup. The thing I like about this is they already have the bracket installed. So all you have to do is take the mount from inside that your TV will be mounted on, boop, lift it off, carry it right outside, drop it in here. If you have cable at your campsite, you can plug it in right there. Well, your cable will be plugged in the back, plug the TV in right there. Obviously electric will be there, you're good to go, right? Nice and simple. Make our way back a little bit further. So this is that outside access underneath the bunk that I was talking about when we were inside. And you can see that is a huge storage area and you have access to the entire thing. I really do like that. I like just, again, having that extra access. This is one of those toss-ups. When you have this floor plan, you can do a couple different things. You either get storage here or you get an outside kitchen. Let me know which one you prefer, because they definitely both have their advantages. And in my mind, it's going to be about a 50-50 split, but I want to know what you're thinking. You watching this right now, let me know in the comments section if you like having that extra storage underneath the bunk or if you would prefer the outside kitchen. Coming around to the back is the square tubular bumper, so you have a spot to put your sewer hose, plus your tire is mounted on there. Right up top, of course, is where your backup camera will be, or can be installed because it is already prepped. Around to the side, this is the cable inlet. Right down underneath our black and gray tank valves, you can see the termination. Outside shower, hot and cold water access, plus the black tank flush is right next to that. This one has a 30 amp cord. It is not detachable. It just houses right inside here. Pull it out and plug it in. You're good to go. Now just bear in mind this one is a little bit more forward on the body of the trailer, so you may need an extension depending on where the post is located. Last thing I want to touch on, folks, is right up here. These are your 2 water connections, both your city water inlet as well as your fresh tank fill. And again, folks, that wraps it up. This right here is the 2021 Keystone Springdale 260BH. If you're interested in this beautiful family model and you would like price and availability, simply click on the link in the description. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and let's go camping.